Video reached max file size. Oh, very nice, but it says it's still recording. Interesting. If it'll focus, there we go. So instead of putting a period there for your decimal marker, you just go straight out the number of cycles per second, so all the way down in hertz. That's a little annoying. It's a little cumbersome because I don't think of my frequencies that way. I think of 467.5625 megahertz. I don't think of 467,562,500 hertz. It just doesn't jive with me. But we know the transmitter and the receiver work on it, so I am happy with that. I'm going to back out of this. And that was the main thing I wanted to know, was that the two-way radio worked. Now, being a ham operator, I'd like to play around with the ham frequencies a bit and see if I pick anything up, because that's something you just can't do with an FRS radio. I want to see if there's any kind of features in that Intercom software to scan it, but so far, just on the surface, fits my hand pretty well. I like it. I like the heft. Really need to exit this app. See if I can't figure out how to do that. Exit app. Yes, I'm sure I want to exit app. Now, is that still on?
Let me turn it off.
Okay, so I exited the app. I pushed the PTT by accident. And now the app is on. Okay, so it does actually device, exit app. Yes. So it does actually stop it from immediately transmitting, but I can see that I'm going to have a problem with that in my pocket if that button pushes up against anything in my pocket. So I'm definitely going to find a way to disable that button. It's going to be one of the first things that I do. But aside from that, it feels like a nice little phone. I'm afraid to drop it. I know that I can drop it. At least according to all the videos that I've seen about this particular device. I can see that this plug can be removed by taking out a very tiny headed Torx screw. Looks like about a T5, maybe a little smaller than that. You know what? Let me try the camera out. Let me see if I can't find that. I'm not really too worried about the camera.
No, we'll see. No.
It's got pretty good low light. Let's look at the recording camera. So there we go. It's going to take me a little bit. There's my ugly mug, or at least the top of it, right? So it's going to take me a little bit of getting used to this screen. I can already see because I was having to go way up into the corner to get that to work. And you can see my little rig that I've got up here so I can record all of this. Because, you know, I'm not one of those fancy YouTubers. I don't even consider myself a YouTuber. Bokeh, fake bokeh. Panorama photo, video. Let's do photo again. I wonder what kind of... See, and that... I hate this. I hate this 3 lines. Tells me, hey, this is a menu. No, no, no. That's actually the 3 lines represent all the apps that you've got going. So I don't like that. I'd rather have a menu button. I wasn't planning on putting a custom ROM on this, but I might have to find a way to do some kind of an interface on it. See what kind of settings we got. Scene mode, no. We really don't want this. Ooh, but look at that though. There's a lot of options here. So, picture size is 16 megapixel 4 by 3 or 16 megapixel 16 by 9. I'm going to have to do the math on these two resolutions, but usually what they'll do is you'll wind up with the 16 by 9, or excuse me, the 4 by 3 being a cropped version of the 16 by 9, but you can see both the width and the height are different, so it may actually be, I'll have to look at that. I don't know what ZSD is. I'm going to have to play with that. Right off the top, though, I mean, yeah, all these cutesy little chimes and beeps and ding-dongs, yeah, I don't know if that's... that's not going to stay on there. I'm going to find a way to disable that, even if it means using a different camera app for it. Personally, I'm a fan of Open Camera by Mark Harmon. It's not the best camera app out there, but it's the best for me. Look at the compass, see how that works. I need to calibrate my compass. I wonder if this trick works. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. See, I'm already dropping the thing. And it's not because the phone is heavy that I'm dropping it, by the way. I'm gingerly holding it because I'm not wanting to push the PTT. I'm not wanting to activate the fingerprint sensor. I'm not wanting to hit... I guess that's the SOS button down here? I don't know. Oh, here we go. You actually have to tell it you're calibrating it. Calibrating success. Wrong. By the way, that's north. Just so we're clear. The reason I'm doing it this way instead of the way the phone is saying to do it is because all of the other Android phones that I've had, I've been able to calibrate this way and it worked. The trick, no, I don't want, see, that's going to be a problem. I've got to disable that button. And that's not east. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Not a big deal. I don't use, I know where north is. I can find north. You know, the chances of me being kidnapped, taken to Australia, and then, you know, dropped in the middle of the outback somewhere and me not knowing where north is are pretty slim. In Australia, I might have a problem finding north, but if I know that I'm in Australia, the chances of that happening are just so slim. I know where north is. I'll worry about the compass later. I'm not going to go into the browser just yet. We have two different browsers. We have browser and we have Chrome. Let me look at the calculator. This is something in the button. Yep, they do it the wrong way. Let me... Did I do it again? Did I hit? Nope. Okay. Let me show you something. This bugs the crap out of me. Okay? Android has for years done the 0 and the decimal backward. I don't understand that. That bugs the crap out of me. Every calculator you buy in the store has the 0 on the left and the decimal in the middle. Android, for some weird reason, they decided to do it backward. Clock, yeah, it's your standard clock. Flashlight. Is it bright? I don't know. I don't care. I carry a flashlight in my pocket, so I don't often need that. FM radio. I would like to hear how well that does. I would like not to have to plug in headphones. I guess that battery's dead. Now on this, headphone jack is in the bottom. Somehow these two jacks are waterproof. I'm not entirely sure how, but they say they are. Can't I listen? I would like to put this on the speed. There we are. I'm not big on country. By the way, this thing is loud. I think I found a good one. '80s were such a good era. And I've already drained the battery 2% from when I bought it, from when I first turned it on. So, I don't know, maybe that 10 amps, maybe that won't last all day like I was thinking it might. So we've tested the FM radio, we've tested the audio volume, we've tested the UHF transceiver. You know, I'm real curious. I'm curious if this thing will do the VHF as well, but I'll worry about that later. All your usual maps, Gmail, Star Trek Voyager. We got a notes app in here I'm never going to use. Sim Toolkit, I don't think I'll use. Oh, a toolbox, what's in there? Take pictures and record video. That's probably for the flashlight. I'm going to go ahead and allow it tentatively. I can always reset this thing to factory default if I change my mind. Allow toolbox to access the location. Sure, that's for the GPS. And to record audio, yeah, it's probably for the sound meter up here. So now China is spying on me, right? Okay, compass. That is so wrong. North is that way. We'll worry about that later. Height measure. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to play with that. Pressure. Ooh, do you have barometric pressure on your weather app? What is it, WeatherBug you use? I'm curious what the pressure is here today right now. Of course, I could just pause my video and...
It says
29.97.
29.97.
That's... okay, this doesn't let me do inches of mercury. And that's what that is alright, 29.97. That's actually pretty close to standard. Which should be close to 1015. I want to think 1013. Maybe... yeah, it should be pretty close. Oh, feet. No, it still doesn't. The altitude's wrong. But we'll worry about that later. That's pretty close. Bubble level. Magnifier. Oh, cool. If it'll focus. Wow, that does focus. I don't know. I mean, I'll have to play with the camera some more too, because I want to see how this thing compares to all of the other phones that I've had. So far, I don't want to say that I'm impressed, but I see the potential in this device, and I want to play with it, and I want to play with it, and I want to play with it some more. So basically, I've got to play with this some more, and I don't want to do all of that while on the video here. But this is a hefty device. I mean, wow, it's just. I'm not complaining about the weight. Don't get me wrong. I love a hefty. You know, I've really got a good. Let me fit in a pocket here. That'll pull my pants down. That's how heavy this thing is. It's, you know what? I should go get a kitchen scale and weigh it. Okay, so here's a Samsung Galaxy S8. It has a cover on it. This is my wife's phone. I would never have another Samsung. I'm tired of them. 0.194 kilograms. I hadn't even touched that. 194 grams. 6.8 ounces. Just under half a pound at 0.43 pounds. The phone I was using as a backup before I purchased my LG that I'm recording this on is 0.39 pounds, a little bit lighter. 180 grams. You know what? This was what, 190 something? 192. The tear was, okay, tear's 0. 195. I'll tear it again. Boom! 365 grams. 12.9 ounces. 0.80 pounds. This thing is almost a full pound. Wow. Here's the old Samsung Galaxy S5, right? From the same distance, the new phone, the BV9500 Pro. Oh, that just tickles me pink. Two-way radio, 0.32 pounds. 143 grams. 5 ounces. Not quite as much as the, yeah, not quite as much. So there you have it. Alright, so again, my initial impression, I am not going to say that I am impressed. I don't impress easily with hardware. I always have something that goes wrong with it. And invariably, it'll be right after I start talking praise about the thing. Aesthetically, it's a phone. There's nothing fantastic about it, nothing special. It's just a phone. I deliberately purchased the green because my old phone is, you've seen in the reflection from the camera, my old phone is orange. And I like that, but I wanted something a little bit, I don't want to say tactical, but basically it's what I wanted is something a little bit more, not quite military, but just greener. It's got a nice rugged case on it with nice aluminum. I think that's aluminum. It might be some other metal, but nice aluminum-esque metal on it with gunmetal kind of coating. It's got an almost metallic, sparkly glitter sheen to it. I don't know how to describe that. I love the touch of these screws. It looks like hardware. It looks like, I don't know, something that if you had a connector on the end of it, it could be a cartridge to go into a computer system or a rack mount radio of some kind. I like the screen. I wish that I had, like, the one thing that I liked about the old Samsung is it had capacitive buttons below the screen, not on the screen. What I didn't like about the Samsung, you can see here how the screen is delaminating. That's a big no-no to me. I don't like how this, it's going to take me a little getting used to. I don't like how the buttons on this one are up here in the screen. There's all this area down here. You can't really see it in this video, but there's a line. If I can get this envelope out of here. Oh, I don't have the envelope. There's a line. Right there. All of that area could have been a capacitive button. And they chose instead to put them in the screen. I don't like that idea, but we'll see what comes of it. So far, I don't see any ghosting of the screen, but even on the LG that I'm recording this with, I did not see ghosting on the screen until it was a couple of weeks old. And it was a cheap LG, it was a cheap screen, and the screen replacement had ghosting immediately, as soon as I swapped it out. The brand new replacement screen had it. So we'll have to give this a couple of weeks to see how it goes. But so far, I need to play with the interface a bit, but so far, I like what I'm holding. I am pleased that I've made a good purchase. This phone was $430 from the Blackview store. That's store.blackview.hk. I was a little worried, but I got what I paid for, I think. I got the phone that was advertised. I got the equipment that was advertised. All I need to do now is turn this phone off, take the SIM card out of it, put it in this phone, and see what kind of signal strength I get. So I'm going to do that next, and maybe I'll do another video, maybe not. We'll see. I may just add comments to this one because, good God, this one's an hour long already. And nobody wants to hear all that. Nobody wants to hear me rattle on that long. But the thing is I've only seen one other video about the Blackview 9500 Pro, and they didn't know what they had. And the other videos that I've been looking at were mostly from overseas, and they were people who were just reading a script while the factory's advertisement video played in the background. So that's not an unboxing, that's not a review, that's not anything. Can I recommend it? No, not yet. I'll probably do a video later on with a different, better review after having used it for a couple of weeks, maybe. But yeah, so far I like it. I'm going to play with it some more. So until next time, thanks for watching. This has been Tech Addict's Attic.